Hello, welcome back to Life as Mrs. C.
My name is Lydia.
And my name is Ruth.
And in today's episode, as we had mentioned last time, is that we have started looking at a series of Dear Newlyweds. And today we'll be looking at getting along with in-laws.
Yes.
It can be quite something sometimes.
Yes, and it can be a challenge for a number of reasons. Yeah. Absolutely.
And I think as a young couple, it's like where your loyalties lie. Sometimes when it comes to making decisions, you're thinking, where do my loyalties lie? How do I make this decision? And most of the time, it's very easy. We are crowded by the fact that, oh, he's my brother. You know, that's my mom. That's my dad.
Yeah.
And the other person is like, come on, but we are married. Why are you thinking like that? But if they are also put in a similar situation, they're like, but you know, you don't understand. That's my auntie. You know, that's my grandmother. It becomes so difficult, but it's, you know, these little things that we let creep in because we are trying to keep everybody happy that sometimes might bring problems.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. And there are different expectations around it, you know. Yeah. There's certain expectations as a young married couple, like, oh yeah, I need to be best friend with my, for example, mother-in-law, or I need to be best friend with the sister to my husband, or vice versa. And there's like cultural expectations, society expectations, traditional expectations, so many different expectations placed on you in this new relationship that you have. And I think the majority of us would like to think that we want to get along, and that's why we've got this. Is like, what are the things that you can do to help each other get along with your in-laws? Because you will be told one thing, and maybe you may not even agree, and that can bring a clash. But what are the things that you can do specifically, intentionally, to get along with your in-laws? So, first point,
obviously, having said all this, it's recognizing that they are strangers.
Yeah.
You know? Sometimes we think strangers are just people that we meet on the road going to somewhere and think, oh yeah, that's a stranger. Well, strangers can even be the people that are around us, people who think we know.
Yeah.
Acknowledging the fact that you're joining a new family, or rather you have joined a new family. Yeah. Okay? They are strangers to you. And also as a couple, being intentional about making each other understand your relatives. You know, if you know there is someone who is special in your family, tell your spouse,
give them a little, you know what?
Heads up. Give them a heads up. Oh, this is how you deal with them. And don't say too much, because you also need to leave room.
Yes, I was gonna say.
You also need to leave room for people to make their own judgment, or rather, let me not say people, but your spouse to make their own judgment. You know, there are times, I think for me, I mean, I do appreciate if somebody says, oh, that person is like this and like that. Yeah. But I do like to keep that at the back of my mind.
And allow yourself a clean slate.
And then allow them to be who they want to be with me, and for me to be able to make my own judgment. And you have to be very wise, because sometimes there are people who take whatever they've been told that is gospel truth. There are people who inherit hatred. They don't even know why they don't like somebody.
Why you hate somebody like, just because everybody in the family hates that one, so you want to also be hating on that. You don't even know who they are. You've never even maybe spoken to them, but naturally in your heart you're like, oh, I don't like that person, or that person is dodgy, but why you hate them. Like them. So definitely, I think what you said really sums it up very well. They are strangers, and like with any stranger, you don't always show your, depending on the kind of personality you have, you don't show your everything about you. You're not there like laughing, hugging, chatting, telling them all your story. You build a relationship. The same way you're building your marriage is the same way you think. Well, I would like to think that I am building my relationship with my in-laws. So it's about if they have a sister, if they have a brother. The first time you meet is, hi, how are you? What do you do? The next time you build on that relationship. You can't expect to be best friends just because you married each other. No, it doesn't. And sometimes society
married into each other's family.
Oh, thank you. And sometimes society says, oh, your relationship should be like this, banging. And you're like, what relationship can you tell me that you just met there and yes, there are situations where you met there and then and you're like, I feel like I've known you all my life.
Yeah.
But generally in most relationships, whether it's at work, even your spouse is a good example, like your husband now or your wife now, of how you build onto that relationship to now become married, and even then you're still building.
Yeah.
So what gives someone the idea that you're going to be best friends? You're not.
Exactly.
So learn to know each other, understand each other. Oh, okay, let me say hello, let me greet them. You show your true colors here, they show their true colors there. You mingle and you find your way around.
Little small talk. I think it was the same way with us. Probably people might get the impression that just because we're in-laws, like
like you and I, we're like, oh, she's my in-law by force. No, we built that relationship and we continue to build our relationship. So like, they are strangers, and your spouse can help you by giving you little tips, which is nice because you've got a heads up. But again, like Lydia said, have an open mind, but use that knowledge that you have to your advantage.
To just make you wise. Let's say maybe something pops up and you have been alerted that this is how this person is. Already you will know what strategy, you know, to sort of come up with. It's like, people being different is also personalities. Because we were talking about, building a friendship, and you'll be able to understand personalities. They are just people who are loners. You might be thinking, that person is not friendly.
They don't like you, or they're not. They
just love their own space.
It's just them. You don't need to be calling them every day. They're cool with that. So learn to build that relationship. You're strangers, and you've got a privilege that you've got each other to sort of help each other through it. Which leads us to our second point. So how else can you get along with in-laws?
Respect. I find respect is so key because there are times when, especially as a young couple, you might feel people being in your space. Sometimes. It's not all the time because, to some extent, there might be truth that other people know better than you do. So people might want to come into your home and tell you what to do. Oh, no, probably you need to do this better. Or you serve them food. They're like, oh, no, probably, if you cook this food this way and everything. I think it's being able to respect them and also letting them be in a space where they respect you. Because sometimes we just get upset, that person, whatever they said, because no, it's hard. But being in a place, and you have to be a team. When it comes to in-laws, you have to be a team. You have to fight for each other. It's not just about, because most of the times I think the people that get a lot of pressure is men. Like, oh, he didn't stand up for me, he didn't do this. Even when it comes to your husband, fight for him. When your relatives are being, just say, that's territory, guys. No, it's no-go area. Like, fight for your husband. And I think when you create a habit of fighting for each other. When I say fighting for each other, I'm not saying like literally fighting, but covering yourselves up, being able to stand up for one another. When somebody says, oh, your husband this or your wife that, being able to stand up for each other. Because sometimes I think the problem comes in when someone, like I was saying, siding. Oh, that's my sister, And the thing is, you will find that somebody trusts probably their mother more than they would trust their spouse. So you begin to be intentional about saying, like, what? We are starting something. I love what we've started, and I'm going to stick with you. I know what my mom is saying is true. Now that's in your head, obviously. It's relative, but friend, I am sticking with you. And I think when that is sealed,
it makes it hard.
It makes it so easy to get through stuff. Especially
as it makes it hard for other people to come in between.
Exactly.
Definitely. You have to stand up for each other. And that's one way of getting along. Because the thing is, even like you said, let's say someone says something about your husband or your partner and it's true, right? And you don't even know it's true, but you agreeing and affirming that, you're opening the door now. You're opening, even though it's true. In your head, it's true. You just keep it. I would just say, just keep quiet. It's true, but you said, I agree. I don't mind. He's this, she's this. Oh, the gate is open. Because they are and that's you making it difficult for your partner to get along. So you will be getting along because it's your family and they're saying something about your partner, but that is making it difficult for your partner to get along with the in-laws. Do you get what I mean? So it's more like on the other way, rather than you acting on it, but you are enabling that behavior or that attitude towards your other half, which is obviously, if they're not getting along, it's just going to make your life difficult. You realize that ultimately it just makes it stressful for you and makes the home stressful. It just, it makes it really difficult.
You know, you're so right in saying, like, you know what we tell our relatives, because sometimes, like I said, you know, what you would tell somebody, it's not everyone who will go with the fact that they have to be open-minded. To be fair, most of us, the way our brain is structured, when somebody tells you this person is like this, it's like that's the first impression you have about them. So when you say, oh, my husband is like that, or my wife is like that, your relatives, it's like the moment they're coming to your home, they are shielded. They are like, this person is like this. We are going to show her. Like, we're going to show him, like, here. So you create that thing of
space.
Space.
No.
Because it becomes easier to just get along with
it makes it easier to get along, even if you agree. Like I say, even if you agree, just keep it to yourself. Like, Lord, I agree, but I'm not going to.
But I think, you know, like you're saying, even if you agree, I think that there are certain situations. Let's say you're going through a tough time, okay, as a newly married person, you're going through a hard time, and you feel like you could do with talking to somebody in your family. I think it's not really a bad idea talking, because obviously, you know, we grew up with our relatives.
In that instance, yes.
Usually like the first person, but what I would say is be wise. With relatives, be wise. They can be really sweet. They can be really nice to help us through, because I find that relatives are genuine.
They love you.
Don't quote me wrong. I'm not saying other people aren't, because with other people, I think you have to go through a stage where, you know, do they really have my best interest at heart? But with relatives, these are people you've grown up with. These are people you know can fight your corner. You know, these people are going to hold you. So your first instinct is, I want to talk to my cousin. I want to talk to my auntie. I want to talk to my mom. But you have to be wise. Wise in what you share. And the amount of information.
Definitely. Absolutely. All right. Next point. I like this one. Keeping cultural boundaries. And I think we've addressed something a bit similar in one of our videos where we're talking about addressing traditional expectations, you know, whilst you're courting, which might come about in your marriage. And I think if you're wanting to get along with your in-laws, you have to also understand that we're all individuals. We all have our own ideas of how to live in society and to live in life. And just because you have certain views in the world or in society does not necessarily mean they'll have the same. But if you're now trying to impose your views and then it's seen as you being disrespectful, then that can make it difficult for you to get along. And I'll give an example in that sense. I mean, for example, I wear trousers a lot generally, but in a cultural context, if I go and visit my in-law, I shouldn't be wearing trousers.
It depends which in-law. You come to my house in trousers.
I didn't even think of her as my in-law.
I know, this girl.
Like, who?
No.
That's true. No, I don't go to their house in trousers. Because I know that they...
Rita, you do come to our house in
You're
trousers.
confusing me. I don't go to their house. I go to their house dressed, not dressed anyhow. Modestly, But I don't wear chitenge, for example. But I know if I'm going to visit my mother-in-law, that's a traditional expectation, and I would want to wear a chitenge. Not because I want to wear a chitenge, for example, but because that's an expectation from the other side of what she expects. And if I don't wear one, perhaps she might think that I'm being disrespectful. And so it's understanding what are those cultural or traditional expectations that may bring conflict. Because what you don't want is, she even came to my house and she did this or she did that. So that's just an example of how, what I mean by traditional or cultural expectations, respecting each other's boundaries and understanding what boundaries can you cross. And if you cross it, understanding that might bring some consequences. They may not like it, but Are you willing to face that? If you and your partner are willing to face it, because like I said, it's not every traditional expectations or that you as a partnership, as in you and your spouse, are going to want to continue to live out in your life. I don't have a problem wearing chitenges, for example, but there may be other traditional expectations. I can't think of anything at the moment that me and Tamelo might be like,
anything controversial.
Yeah, I can't think of anything right now, but we're like, no. And that might breed problems, and that may make it difficult for us to get along. But pick your battles.
Yeah, I think that's the key. Picking your battles, because sometimes people will be like, I mean, it's different if people come to your home. When people come to your home, obviously you need to decide how far do we go in, meeting certain traditional expectations. Yeah. Because some of these traditional expectations, they can bring, like sort of like bad blood between in-laws. Like, oh, that girl is like this, or that man is like this and like that. So it's just knowing how far do we go. Yeah. And you have to be together with your spouse. Yeah. So that if one of you is approached, oh, we come to your home and we notice this and that,
this happened.
The other spouse shouldn't go like, I don't know. I think it was her. You need to stand and just say, oh, this is what we have agreed, and this is how we have decided. Every time, especially with in-laws, you have to stress the we will get you far.
Because next time they won't even bring it up. Yeah. Because if they don't bring it to your spouse, they don't bring it to you. Then you don't know about it. And maybe they might be complaining, who knows? But you don't know about it, and it's not stressing you. So when you are a we, like you said before, it creates that. And it makes it difficult for people to enter and creates that unity for you guys, which also helps you to get along with other people. Yeah. Because then they're not bringing stress, they're not bringing problems.